Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was a baleen whale named Juliet. Juliet the baleen whale lived in a vast, deep blue ocean where she loved playing among the kelp, singing her songs that echoed through the water, and gliding along schools of fish. She was a young baleen whale with a heart as big as the ocean she lived in. Juliet the baleen whale was the happiest whale in the ocean. Out of all the things she loved to do, she especially loved swimming with her best friend, a fellow baleen whale who was like family to her. Together, they glided through the crystal blue waters, filtering plankton and krill with their giant baleen plates. Every summer, they followed their pod on a migration to cooler waters, where the food was plentiful and every moment was full of laughter and adventure. Every year, the two baleen whales would plan their trip and look forward to all the fun they were going to have. But this summer, things were different. One morning, as the pod prepared to start their migration north, Juliet's best friend told her some big news. Her family decided to go to another part of the ocean to see if there's more food for all the pods of whales. And this meant that Juliet the baleen whale's best friend couldn't be with her on the migration this year, and possibly in the future. "The krill are fewer here than last year," her friend explained to Juliet. "We need to find a better feeding spot for our family." Juliet the baleen whale felt her heart sink. "But who will I swim with?" Juliet asked. "Who's going to help me find the best patches of krill? Who's going to race with me through the waters?" Her best friend gave her a gentle nudge. "You'll be fine, Juliet. You're the strongest and funniest whale I know. And we'll see each other again someday." With that, Juliet the baleen whale watched as her friend and her family swim off into the horizon. The ocean felt much bigger and lonelier without her friend. As the pod began their journey north, Juliet tried her best to stay cheerful. She swam alongside the other whales and even joined in trapping krill with her pod. But nothing felt the same. When she found a particularly tasty patch of krill, she turned to share it with her best friend, only to remember she wasn't there. The long days of migration stretched on. Juliet the baleen whale missed the silly game she and her friend used to play, like racing through schools of fish or making the biggest splash with her tails. She even missed the quiet moments when they simply floated side by side. As the weeks went by, Juliet the baleen whale started to notice things she hadn't before. There was a group of playful sea lions that loved to dart around the pod, showing off their flips and spins. Juliet the baleen whale found herself laughing at their swimming and their flipping, and she even joined in a game of chase the seaweed. And if the sea lions ever got tangled in the seaweed, Juliet would help get the seaweed off of them. She also met a curious young albatross who kept landing on her back for a rest every time she came to the surface. The albatross chirped at Juliet while standing on her and said, "You're like a big squishy island." At first, Juliet the baleen whale found it annoying that this albatross would keep landing on her and referring to her as being squishy. But she soon started to enjoy the company. The albatross would tell her stories about the sky and how it felt to soar above the clouds and see the ocean below. And Juliet the baleen whale would tell the albatross stories of what it felt like to live in the water. And then there were the other whales in her pod. Juliet the baleen whale began to notice how kind and funny they were. One of the older whales taught her how to find krill near the ocean floor. And even a younger whale started swimming next to her to race with her. Slowly but surely, Juliet started to feel a little less lonely. By the time the pod reached their summer feeding grounds, Juliet the baleen whale felt like a new whale. She still missed her best friend, but she also felt grateful for the new friends she'd made and the adventures she had along the way. A few years went by, and Juliet got used to migrating without her best friend, and she grew to enjoy the migration with new friends in her life. On one sunny day in the summertime, after the pod was done migrating to find more krill, Juliet the baleen whale was swimming around, having fun with the younger baleen whales and the sea lions. Juliet's pod noticed another pod coming towards them, and Juliet the baleen whale noticed a familiar shape on the horizon. Could it be? She swam closer and saw it was her best friend. They greeted each other with excited splashes and cheerful singing underwater. "I knew we'd meet again, Juliet," her friend said. Juliet the baleen whale smiled and said, "I missed you so much, but guess what? I've learned so many new things, and I made new friends too. My pod feels normal again." Her friend was so excited, and she said to her, "That's wonderful, Juliet. See, I told you you'd be fine." And so the two best friends spent time to catch up with each other before the pods had to separate again. And as the two whales swam side by side, Juliet felt a deep sense of peace. She realized that even though things had changed, her heart had grown bigger, and she now had room for old friends, new friends, and all the beautiful memories in between. And the baleen whale lived happily ever after. The end. Baleen whales are also known as whalebone whales and are marine mammals of the order Mysticeti. There are two types of whales, baleen and toothed. The difference between the two types of whales are the way they feed and what they have inside their mouths. Baleen whales have baleen plates. Baleen looks like a comb and is used to filter tiny food from the water. Baleen whales take big gulps of water, then push the water out, trapping tiny creatures like krill and plankton in their baleen. Toothed whales have teeth, and they hunt actively for other sea creatures. There are many types of baleen whales, and they consist of 4 different families: the right whales, rorquals, gray whale, and the pygmy right whale. Within these families, there are many baleen whales. These include the bowhead whale, the southern right whale, North Atlantic right whale, North Pacific right whale, pygmy right whale, common minke whale, southern minke whale, gray whale, humpback whale, fin whale, O'Mara's whale, Eden's whale, Rice's whale, sei whale, Brutus whale, and the blue whale. Baleen whales range in sizes from 20 feet to over 100 feet long and can weigh from 6,000 pounds to over 200 tons. The smallest baleen whale is the pygmy right whale, and the largest baleen whale is the blue whale. Baleen whales can have streamlined bodies that are large and have 2 limbs for flippers, and their skin is smooth and helps them swim easily through the water. Baleen whales have a fused neck vertebrae, which means they cannot turn their heads at all. Baleen whales have 2 blowholes, and they have a layer of fat or blubber underneath the skin to keep warm in cold water. Baleen whales are some of the largest creatures in the ocean. Baleen whales eat krill or tiny shrimp-like animals and plankton or tiny plants and tiny animals. Baleen whales pretty much live all over the world, from warm tropical waters to the cold Arctic. Many of these whales migrate long distances each year, moving from cold feeding areas to warm waters to have their babies. Baleen whales can grow very large. Blue whales can reach up to 100 feet long. That's longer than 3 school buses. Baby baleen whales are called calves, and they're born underwater and can swim right after they're born. Some baleen whales, like humpback whales, sing songs that can be heard from miles away. Baleen whales can use sound to communicate and to find food and navigate through the ocean. Some baleen whales live up to 70 to 90 years old, and others have been known to live 100 years old. Have you seen a real-life baleen whale before? If you have, where did you see it? Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, bye!